Hi, this is Caroline Henry. I am here today in my garden in Auvillers talking to my good friend Yann Tourbe, who is the local journalist and champagne expert at L'Union newspaper. Welcome, Yann. It's lovely to see you here. Yann, tell me a little bit. I wrote the questions down, but obviously now I've got other things open. Maybe you can give a short overview to start off with of where you think the champagne economy is today and where you think it will be heading in the short to medium time future.
Yeah, okay. So hello, thanks for having me. Okay, so where is the champagne market today? Obviously, it's not very well in terms of volumes. Okay, because we have the January figures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which are even lower than the December figures.
Yes.
It's not really a surprise because we are heading into the volumes which have been sent to the States for the tariffs. Okay,
Yeah, the
so
anticipated sales.
it's not a real surprise. Okay, and it will be, I think, it will be the case for the 4 or 5 months to come.
Whoa. So you think that the export sales, we will see further decreases for the next
Not a decrease, because the thing is, the decrease has already happened. Okay, just think the export level will not rise again
Okay.
for
All
the
right.
months to
Okay.
come.
Sorry, I misunderstood. All right.
Yeah. So that's the state of the market today, but we are only talking about volumes. Okay, so something like 265 million bottles. Okay, something like that. And we will end up in April between, I think, 260 and 263, something like that. Okay, I don't think it will go further down than that.
Okay. You don't
For the
think it
time
will
being.
you don't think it will drop under 263 million bottles?
It can.
And
It can, but I don't
no,
think
but
it
in the
will.
short to medium term. So basically
Yeah,
by April,
yeah.
April is we're in March, so that's like 2 months away. So in May we will have the figures. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. The thing is, it's a bit difficult to tell right now because we have a war going on.
Yes. I
In
was
the
going to
Persian
ask you
Gulf.
about the
Yeah,
war.
yeah. We have a war going on. We have the Strait of Hormuz, which is a very big nodal point of the global trade. Okay, which can be closed anytime. No, it's like right now it's like it's closed because you have a 80% decrease
Yes.
in the ship passings. So
Oh, so because I thought it was closed. In the American newspapers, they say it's closed, but
no, it's
there's
80,
still
it's
20%, still 20% going through.
yeah.
But
But
the oil trade is just about dead at the moment.
yeah, that's it. But we can, if you look at the website which tracks the movements of ships, you can still see some ships moving in and out,
Okay.
but very few.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's a big question because we don't know for how long it will be going.
Yeah.
And
So you think that basically when basically we will not be able to get any oil out of the Middle East anymore. Obviously we will be in a big oil crisis, and that
Yeah,
will impact, everything, and therefore also the champagne sales.
yeah, of course, because champagne is like a thermometer.
Okay.
Okay, when you have a war, when you have a crisis, people don't want to drink champagne. Okay,
All
so
right.
yes, of course, it will be a problem. But the thing is, we have to make the difference between expeditions and sales.
Hmm.
It's not the same.
No, I
It's
know.
not
I
the
know
same.
it's not the same.
I know you know, but we have to tell it
Okay.
because
No, 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 no.
it's yeah.
I understand.
The figures we are working with here in the Champagne area are
Yes.
expeditions. Okay,
Yes.
the volume of bottles which are going out of the cellars,
Yes.
but we don't know how many of these bottles are sold. Okay,
Yes. Yeah, no, I know. So these bottles, uh, basically, so there's two things that can happen. So the first one is that they get to the market and they are not sold. The other thing
yeah,
is that the sales in the market actually exceed the sales that come from champagne. Something, for instance, that could happen in America because they sat on stock.
yeah,
Uh, because we don't have any idea of what the stocks were.
yeah. We have um, not exactly. We don't have a we can't say we don't have any idea of the
Hmm.
stocks in the States because we have a few figures.
Okay.
Okay, and we know that some of the big brands
Hmm.
have shipped somewhere between 1.5 and 2 times their volumes in the States, and they can do it because they are to themselves
Yeah, yeah, they distributors themselves.
their
Yeah, yeah.
distributors. So it's not a problem for them. It's like a scripture
Yeah, they
thing.
they
Okay,
just stock in a different place.
yeah, that's it. But it's a problem for the smaller brands. But when you look at the market in the States, 2/3 of the markets are five brands.
Mhm.
So that's one thing about the champagne market, and
And the future, yeah. So
yeah,
you think that once basically we get past this glut,
yeah,
uh, of American, the figures at that time, do you think that they will go up or that they will stay down? I'm asking because obviously I wrote yesterday, the uh, uh, the two co-presidents of the appellation mentioned that they are going to focus on the French market. They want the French
yeah,
market to
yeah,
go
yeah,
up. The French market continues to sink. Okay,
yeah.
this is not changing very much.
It,
With
it's a 20.
despite
It's a 20 years fall.
no, it's a 20 years fall, but it
Yeah,
continues, and it's
yeah,
actually because when I looked at the figures, I looked at them for this piece I published
yeah,
yesterday.
yeah,
The sales drop basically sped up after 2019. It's difficult because we have the COVID and everything else, but
yeah.
they lost basically another 20%. So that's quite a lot, and even if we look at January, it's minus 7.2 for the French market.
Yeah, the thing is, for the French market,
So 500,000 bottles, basically.
yeah, 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 yeah. The thing is, the French market falls uh, every year. Okay, uh, it's 4.5 million bottles less
Hmm.
each year for something like 15 years. Okay,
Hmm.
so it's really a very big fall, but today it's still the first market.
Yes.
And the thing is, when you look at the French market, and you look at the supermarkets, okay, it's 18% of the total of the champagne sales in the
Hmm.
world. Okay, so the first market, it's not only France, it's France supermarkets.
Hmm.
Okay, that's the first market of champagne aujourd'hui.
Okay, but
Okay,
if we have basically in the supermarkets, we know it's not going well.
yeah,
Um, if we want to relaunch the market, when they spoke on the market trend, for instance,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
speaking about wine tourism. I live in the most visited village of Champagne. We have a lot of tourists; they're here already, but the tourists seem to buy, from what I see, they seem to buy differently. Before, there were less people open, but people would come and they would literally fill up their trunk full of, their
yeah,
boot
yeah,
full of wine. Today,
yeah, of
this is
course.
not the today this is not the case. They come, they taste a little bit, they walk around with one or two bottles. It's very
Yeah,
rare to see people carry a
yeah,
case. Really, and it used to be
yeah, I know.
very common. So how are we going to, and we know we had the Olympics, it didn't do anything to the sales. We've been boosting, tourism. It's been going up significantly in the last 2 years. The sales continue to fall. So, what needs to be done to reboot these French sales?
Oh, that's a tough sell. Okay.
If you know the answer, they will hire you at the CIVC.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, of course. Thanks for the question. The thing is, you have in the French market the same problem as everywhere. Okay, you have uh, a generational change. Okay, you have changes in the consumption. You have changes in the way people buy
Mhm.
the bottles. Okay, and it's very very complicated because you have multiple factors blending, and the thing is, I don't think anyone knows today what to do with the French
The-
market. Okay, uh, you have to be very cautious
Mhm.
with it because it's still the first market, and you have to look at what works
Okay.
and what is working today in the French market.
What is working for you
Yeah,
today?
yeah, Prosecco is
Oh,
working
Prosecco is
today.
working.
Yeah,
But on
Prosecco
the
is
other
working.
hand, I think in the champagne part, not in the Prosecco
Yeah,
part, in the champagne part, what is working is, you know, h- higher end cuvées, organic cuvées, star growers, unicorns, those kind of things are working. These are
uh,
very small volume, high price,
yeah,
small
yeah.
volume, but they are working. People are wanting,
Yeah, but
wine from these particular
it's
people.
it's a niche.
It's a niche, yes,
The thing is that's a niche. Okay, organic champagne. I
8%, yes.
you like it. I like it. Okay, it's a niche. We have to recognize it
Yes,
as it is. And the problem is we have to go out of this niche, and uh, we have to sell volumes.
yes. But
Okay,
it's very difficult to sell volumes at a premium when your quality does not necessarily scream that you
Uh,
are above everything else. And we
I'm
have wine in the cellars, and that wine that is in the cellars is,
yeah.
I wouldn't say dubious, but I would say very mediocre. Okay, not for all of it, but the entry level, a lot of it is very
I'm not
mediocre.
sure I totally agree with you on that. We have had the discussion over the
More
years.
politically correct.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what I'm talking
Maybe.
about, the entry level, the average level. People always say, and I think this is a really big mistake, even though it may be true. A lot of people always say, um, champagne has never been as good as it is today. Yes. But if we compare champagne to where champagne was 30 years ago, that is the wrong comparison to make. We need to compare champagne to other sparkling wines in the market. And
Yeah.
if people buy Prosecco, there's reasons why it's completely different flavor profile, completely different
Indeed.
price point. But, actually, the other thing that's been growing significantly is Cremant, which is a similar flavor profile to champagne. And a lot of the
Yeah.
Cremant, like the Burgundy, Loire now, they are going to bring out, premium cuvées or premium, like we had, they're going to bring out premium Cremants, and also Prosecco is investing in
Yeah,
premium
yeah.
cuvées. They did the rosé,
But
which was a huge success. So how can we go about it? How?
okay, there's a few points I'd like to address with
Yes.
what you just say. Um, First, okay, Cremant is beginning to surge. Okay, it's been surging for 5 to 6 years. Okay,
Mhm.
um, and now it's something like 100 million bottles a year. Okay, so it's much smaller
Yeah.
than champagne. Okay, and it's a much more complex offer because we have multiple
Mhm.
regions: Alsace, Loire, Bordeaux, Bourgogne. Okay, and even some
Europe.
some old appellations like
G.
Vouvray, Montlouis. Okay, in the Loire region, but Vouvray, for example, is not boding well today. Or Clairette, if you go in Limoux. Okay.
Yes.
Um, so you have multiple sparkling wines, okay, but the thing is, it's not the same price point, okay. They are today filling a blank, filling a void in the market,
Mhm.
a void left by entry-level champagne.
Yes.
In fact, okay, champagne has moved on. It has moved up, in fact, in prices. Okay, and maybe we have to in Champagne, I think, maybe we have to talk about volumes, because today I think there are two narratives in Champagne. There is one narrative about going back to 300 million bottles a year.
Yes.
Okay, and there is another one which tells we should go down to 250,
Million
maybe
bucks.
why not 200 million bottles a
Okay.
year, and increase prices and increase quality. Okay.
Yeah.
And these two narratives are in fact fighting each other today in
Mhm.
Champagne. And the decision has not been made today.
No, the decision has not been made, but 300 million bottles, the first narrative, which is the most common narrative, the official narrative still today, let's put it that way.
That's
Uh,
past. That's past for me, I
it's no,
think.
it's past, but it's still, they were still talking about it in December,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they still would like to go there. Do you think that this is a realistic expectation
No, I
in
don't.
in the even in the medium term, like 5 years from
No.
now?
In 5 years, why not? In 5 years, why not? But because in 5 years we will have some new markets in the Mercosur area, for
Mhm.
example, Brazil, which can
Yeah.
surge very well. We will explore India,
Hmm.
the most populous country in the world. Okay, half of it is Muslim population, but so they don't drink, but the others do drink,
Hmm.
and they have sparklings already. So there's a market. Uh, so yes, in 5 years, 300 million bottles. Why not?
And
But
then,
it won't be the same as today. It won't be the same as 2019.
okay. So we're not going back to
No,
where
we're
we
not. We're
to where
not.
we were before. And
No,
the other narrative of 250 to 200,000 bottles, um,
that's the
doesn't.
same, in fact.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah, no,
same I just
basically,
told.
but that narrative doesn't it make sense? Because, to get to the 300 million bottle or the volume sales,
Mhm.
prices need to come down. I wrote yesterday, I put a screenshot up as they're selling £10 own brand champagne for Mother's Day, which is on Sunday, I think, in the UK. Like I saw a comment from Joel on my post where he was saying that he'd spoken about $25 Costco champagne. He told me it's now gone down to under 20 and then
Mhm.
gone back up to $21. So knowing, $21 is similar, just under the price of American sparkling wine, what he was saying,
Mhm.
good quality sparkling wine. So, when we do that, when we drop our prices like that, first of all, the wines coming from here generally are sold sur latte because it's the only way you can get prices like that.
Yeah.
That also means that, today there are stocks, but this is a market that will dry up because it's not sustainable to produce
Yeah.
wine and to sell it under that price.
No,
So that is not possible.
we have to look at something. When you talk about $21 Costco champagne, uh, the price of a bottle just getting out of the cellar in 2025
Mhm.
was over 21 euros without taxes.
Yeah, but
Okay, yep.
but
So
that is, when you calculate that price, I think because when we calculate the average bottle price,
yeah,
I
yeah,
did the
yeah,
same
yeah.
as you. We take the volume by the turnover, but we have a huge part, which is Cuvée Prestige, which ups the price significantly.
Of
And
course, but
those
what?
wines, like I say, they are like we had in New Zealand before, they are bulk wine. So bulk wine is sold, vin sur latte. We've seen this. This is not the first
Yes,
time.
of course,
This
we've
th- this
seen
is
it.
every
We've seen
six,
it.
7 years we go in this cycle.
Yeah, yeah.
But what I'm saying, this is not a sustainable thing. However, the people that are drinking champagne at that price, when the champagne goes up, and if you say the average bottle of champagne, 21 euros, we know that that price is up because the euro is today significantly higher than the dollar, as I well know. So, therefore, that means that, we are looking for a market that we cannot sustain with those bottles because we cannot bring
Of
the
course,
product at that price.
of course, of
So
course.
these are people we're going to lose because it's very difficult for a person that pays in America
Do
21, even
do we
$25.
want do we want to sell champagne to these people?
I don't
And
know.
that's a question. I don't
That is
know
a
either.
question, but
That's a question.
that question, the last time that question was asked as such that I know that it was asked by Maxime Toubar, who said that it was in everybody's interest to shift bottles, no matter what we had to do, whether we had to make lower alcohol champagne, cocktails, anything. Remember, this was his big solution, looking at the Prosecco market in France. So for a part, and I think this is the part that wants to sell the 300 million bottles,
Yeah.
they don't really care. But, at one point, they need to care because you cannot, first of all, it's illegal in France to sell under the price of production. And secondly, they're going to run out of wine. What are they going to do?
Yes, of course, of course. But the cost of production of champagne bottle today is somewhere between 9 and 13 euros. Okay, for an entry level champagne.
For an
Okay,
entry level, and
yeah,
then you
yeah.
add the marketing for the big brands,
Yeah, of course, of course. You have the
which is
marketing, and you have
significant.
the longest time in the cellar, and you have things like that. Okay,
Yeah.
which are all costly, and we know that. Uh, but what you are addressing, and I think it's an interesting point. Okay, champagne has to choose what it
Chooses.
wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
It has not chosen yet.
No.
No.
It's still sitting on the fence, but it's very
Yeah.
difficult to sit on the
Yeah.
fence. We have to be very careful that we're not Humpty Dumpty that falls off the wall and that basically gone is nowhere to be seen anymore.
Yeah. Of
Okay,
course.
because that is what happened to Bordeaux. All right.
No. Bordeaux had a slightly different problem, I think. But the thing is, for champagne, it has to choose. I think today it's pointing towards quality. Okay,
Yes, which is a good thing.
I think today the voices that I hear in the vineyards and in the houses are screaming for quality and for good prices. Okay, and I think the big volumes they are not quite over, but they are ending.
They're ending. Okay.
Yeah,
So, so if you would have to make this choice, okay, where do you see
yeah.
champagne? You would go with the others, and do you think that the appellation will make this decision this year, for instance? Because
No, I don't.
the longer we sit on the wall, the more the more vacuum we leave, and the easier it is for other people to fill that vacuum.
Yeah, but
Once the vacuum is filled, it's very difficult to come back.
the vacuum of left by champagne in lower prices is filled today.
Yes.
Yeah,
But in the medium
that's
part,
the medium part is another problem, and that's the part for supermarkets, for example, and that's the part for lower prices export. Okay,
yeah,
but the thing is, I think today champagne is has many problems. Okay, one of the problems is the American market. Okay,
hmm
the problem there is not solved today. Okay, we had the Supreme Court giving the finger to Donald Trump and telling him he couldn't raise tariffs. Okay, and we had yesterday the Court of International Trade saying that tariffs, duties
have to be paid back.
earned in the 2025 had to be paid back.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're talking about $130
billion. Yeah,
billion of duties. So that's 0.5% of the gross product of the states.
yeah.
So that's not that's not little money. Okay,
No,
that's
it's quite a bit.
big.
But
Yeah.
Trump already imposed blank tariffs
Yeah, for
for
100 and for
for
150
150
days.
days.
Yeah,
Afterwards, he needs
Congress
basically he needs
approval,
Congress approval. So we will see.
which he won't have.
It
I
will
don't
depend.
think he
It
won't
will
have.
depend on the war. I think
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not. I'm not 100% sure, and it will depend whether he goes to
Yeah.
Congress,
But I think
because it's very possible he will not go to Congress, and then we have to wait till it goes back to
yeah,
the Supreme Court.
yeah.
So I wouldn't be too keen, but I actually don't think this is the biggest problem of champagne. I think
No,
the
it's
biggest
not.
problem of champagne is the same for all wines, spirits,
Yeah,
everything
of
else,
course.
is that consumers are changing and that we are consuming considerably less than we did before. And even when we
Yes.
get new consumers, we need to get almost two extra wines to make up for the ones that we are losing. Because if you see that Generation Z, there's studies coming out saying they have an aversion to alcohol. That means that it's not, it's not that easy. While, for instance, baby boomers, they used to drink quite a lot. So as the baby boomers get older, they drink less. They're not being replaced by Gen
Yeah,
Zers.
yeah,
That basically means that market is shrinking. And not
of
only
course.
is that market shrinking, we also have a lot more competition. Champagne has never been in a market with as much competition as it has today, or it has had in the last 2 decades. And we can see that this competition has not gone into its favor. It hasn't been able to claw out a bigger part of the market, durably in that way. So,
Uh,
you know,
yes, but I'm not sure I agree entirely with you about that because right now we are talking about volumes, okay? But if we talked about prices, we will see that champagne is still the king of the hill, okay? And
yes, prices, yes.
very much so, in fact, because maybe it's something like 8 to 10% of the sparkling wine volumes
Mhm.
sold globally, but it's 35, I think, 35% of the value.
Yeah,
So that's not something you fall off easily.
no. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just
Yes,
saying
I
that
do.
the system where we were is, I believe that choices need to be made. And I strongly believe that it is always a better idea to, when you need to make a difficult choice, putting it off is never a good idea because,
Yes,
I know we need to weigh things up, but we have now had 2 years to weigh things up. And, at some point we need to make a decision. Having people continuing to talk about, like, for instance, I wrote this yesterday, having Damien Champy and then afterwards Toubach, echoing it, saying that they're not going to excuse for making wine and alcohol as part of our culture. It was part of our culture, but our culture has changed. It has changed. Smoking was very much part of the French culture. There are still people today in France that smoke, but significantly less than when I
yeah,
first arrived here.
indeed.
So I think that, you know, just being an ostrich and not wanting to see what world we are living in and how the world is changing is really not helping anyone. That's just
Yes,
that's
of
just
course.
my opinion.
No, no, but I see what you mean, and that's okay with me because indeed the culture is changing,
Mhm.
it's evolving, but I think it's too soon to say that Gen Z, for example, will not love wine. We don't
Oh,
know
I
yet.
did not say
We don't
they will
know
not
yet.
love wine.
What we know actually is that the boomers are retiring and drinking less. Okay,
Yes.
that we do know. What we don't know about Gen Z, okay, is what they will do when they will come of age. Should I say?
Yeah, when
Okay,
they are like in their 30s. But what we see
yeah,
with
that's it.
millennials, we see millennials have taken up wine, but not in the same way as
Yes,
previous generations.
of course.
And that is not just for wine, that is for
Yes, yes, yes. I
cocktails, for
agree.
beer, for everything, basically. Anyway, so I am seeing that it is getting quite late and I know you have an appointment, so
Yes, indeed.
I don't want to keep you up because otherwise you never come back. uh it was really interesting to hear your views on champagne. We
Thank you.
align in many points. We are different in many points, and I think that is where the interest lies. I think I am obviously not French, so I have a more international point of view, and you are French and local, so you have
Yeah,
a more local point of view. And I think that this is very interesting for anyone loving champagne to get a good overview
I
of
hope so.
where the markets are. So thank you very much. Is there anything you want to finish with, or you're just okay to go?
No, just drink champagne, and it's okay.
Okay, that's good. Well, thank you very much, guys. I'll see you soon. Next week, we have another guest. Thank you. Bye bye.